Yay Networks.
There's so much confusion around sports drinks. Do we need them? Do we not need them? Is the sodium good? Is it bad? We're joined today by two professional athletes. We have an NFL football player and we have a tennis pro. And they're two people who lose large volumes of sweat as just their daily jobs. And the experiences that they go through, the approach that they personally take for hydration. I'm also getting their take on 4 store-bought products that I really love. These are products that are all really high in electrolytes with 0 added sugar. They're also nothing artificial, completely natural ingredients. So we've got 4 store-bought products they're going to be weighing in on with a blind taste test. And then also 2 products that I've made myself that are sort of the do-it-yourselfer sports drinks that personally I really enjoy. So kind of slip those in to get their take on these as well. So you'll hear their feedback on these sports drinks. You'll hear their questions on hydration. As they were asking me some of these questions, I know it's questions that you have yourself. And all in all, we've got hydration basics, electrolyte basics, and then some really fun product taste tests and our favorites that we recommend. All of that in this week's episode of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition. Oh, and by the way, for those of y'all who follow me on social, Molly Kimball RD, we posted a video last week that I thought was hilarious. Clearly, a lot of y'all did too. Hank Allen is who I'm currently doing the WGNO TV segments with. And we had Hank taste the lineup that you're going to hear our athletes taste in just a minute. And we have one that's simply salt water. It's as pure as it gets. And Hank's reaction compared to our athletes' reactions today, I think is really telling. It's all of them are super interested in nutrition, wellness, keeping things as pure and natural as possible. Yet here we've got 2 athletes who are at a totally different level of what they're putting in their body, how they're hydrating their body. And so for me, it's interesting how their perception to what we are now calling ocean water is totally different. So anyway, here you go. A quick note before we dive into today's podcast. If you like what you hear, I would love for you to subscribe to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, wherever you download your podcast. It would also be incredible if you take a minute to rate and review this podcast. Those things do matter and they really help us. I'm Molly Kimball. Welcome to Fueled, a wellness and nutrition podcast. I'm a registered dietitian and nutrition journalist with a passion to help people live their strongest, healthiest life possible. In my weekly TV segments and columns, there's a limited amount of time and space to cover everything, but there's so much more to share. This podcast is my opportunity to dive deeper into the topics you want to know about. I feel like we can't talk about hydration enough. We are here in New Orleans. It's so hot. It's so humid. We keep hearing all these different reports that every summer, it's like the hottest summer on record. There's all these record-breaking temperatures that are happening all over the U.S., and it just keeps rising. So when we're talking about hydration, there's a lot to think about here, and there's sort of different aspects that are going to apply to different people. And so what we're going to be talking about today is people who are either outside a lot or athletes who are losing large amounts of sweat when water is just not enough. What do we need? We're going to be talking about how much fluid do we need, what types of fluids, and then especially looking at electrolytes and how can we get this high electrolyte concentration that we need, the high fluid we need, but without getting all those added sugars and all the other added ingredients that maybe we want to try to keep things a little bit cleaner. So y'all know I love a good taste test, and it's even better when it's a blinded taste test. And so it's not just me that's going to be talking about hydration and electrolytes and products with y'all. I am joined by 2 athletes who I'm super excited to share this with y'all and get their take. So first, welcome Tanoh.
Thank you.
And welcome Amber.
Hey.
So Tanoh is, he is a defensive end with the Saints. He is an NFL player. He's been with the league for 8 years, and you've been with the Saints for 4 years.
Yep.
You just made 30.
Yep.
Big.
Join the club.
Big crossover there. And so Amber is a friend. She is also, well, first of all, Amber is a marketing director for Tandem Physical Therapy here in New Orleans. I would say that's sort of like your...
Well, it's what I went to school for,
right?
Marketing. But I never meant to get into tennis. I played tennis growing up, kind of fell into college coaching, loved it, always coached like on the side. So that's mostly what I do. I I coach half the time, and half the time I do marketing.
I think the blend of what you have and how you're able to kind of blend the passion plus again, like what you went to school for, which is also a passion. So marketing director at Tandem Physical Therapy here in the greater New Orleans area, a collegiate athlete yourself, played tennis through college, and then, like you said, coached college athletes
Right.
With tennis for about 5 years. And now in addition to, I kind of want to say your day job, but it's not like it's your day job, but
Right.
it's, and it's not like we would say your real job because coaching is also a real job, but it's two very different jobs. It's more like office indoor job.
Yes.
And then
I
you're on
know.
the court job.
I'm lucky. People ask me, which one do you do for fun and which one is like
It's
your job?
true.
And it's both. I'm passionate. I'm lucky to be passionate about both of them.
Yeah. And also the one kind of gives you a break from the other because if someone is at a desk all day, they're kind of like itching for that movement. Yet when you're out on the court teaching all day, you're really kind of craving some of that desk and AC work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
So I think
don't think I could do 40 hours in the New Orleans heat if I tried. So
and Amber also coaches me in
Yes.
my tennis. And so, when we, when it's the winter time, drinking and what you hydrate, not that it's not important, but it's a little bit more of an afterthought. And, when we hit together, I made go through one bottle, a 20-ounce bottle during the winter, and it's easily 3 bottles, 3 20-ounce bottles during the time that we're hitting together during the summertime. Our clothes are soaking wet. Like when you leave, it's as if you literally just got out of the shower. Same with you, Tanoh, I know with practice.
Oh yeah, and
It's-
I'm a big sweater too.
Do y'all have the opportunity to change clothes during practice, or are you just like drenched the whole time?
Well, some guys literally do bring extra shirts out there, but I just thug it out.
You're sort of like,
It's gonna be wet anyway. Like I put a dry shirt on
Right.
2 minutes later.
you're
so,
like, it's just more laundry to do otherwise.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a super, super heavy sweater. You too, you said. Is it salty where you see as it dries? Is it crystalline on you?
Not as much, not too much.
How about-
Yeah.
I feel like it depends on the activity. Like I
Yeah.
can go on really long bike rides and I notice more so than other things. But
Amber, when you and I hit, I feel like I have more sweat coming off of me than you.
depends.
Maybe.
Sometimes.
Sometimes I'm like, is it raining? And
But
no,
yeah,
it's just the
it is a
sweat
lot.
flinging off.
Yes.
The reason I was asking Tanoh about, when you're seeing it, if it's drying on your skin, as you're, I think as individuals, most people know if they're heavy sweaters or not. And there's someone, but surprisingly, a lot of people don't think through that question. And when you say, like, are you a heavy sweater? They laugh because it seems something like it's a strange term if you haven't thought of that or you're not in that world. So are you a heavy sweater? Meaning, do you lose a lot of water in your sweat? That question I asked Tanoh is about, are you losing a lot of electrolytes in your sweat? And so there's some people who are heavy sweaters, but they're not very salty sweaters.
I think that's me.
That's
I
you.
think that's me, yeah, for sure.
Which is possibly your sodium concentration of your sweat can be related to a lot of things. Like Amber said, maybe it's different types of exercise, which might have, when you're cycling, maybe you're losing as much sweat, but there's a little bit more of that drying effect because you're on the bike. It can also be related to our diet. So when we do have a higher intake of sodium, we're going to have that higher salt concentration in our sweat, lower if we have a lower sodium. We've done this podcast before on talking about fluid, but in short, I want to do a couple of quick housekeepings of how much fluid we need. And then when it comes to sports drinks, do you either of you kind of focus on how much you're trying to get in a day in terms of fluid?
You want to go first?
I don't know the exact amount, what's, I see you're supposed to take a percentage of your body weight as far as water goes. But I mean, for me, I just make sure I hydrate before my activity, because if I wait until I'm in that activity, it's way too late.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely hydrate before, during, and after. But the amount wise, I think, at least in college, it was very heavily suggested we had 2 gallons at least, a day. And I know guys walk around the locker room with gallons on them just to make sure they know how much water they've drank. But for me, I walk around with a Stanley, that holds a lot. And then in practice, I am drinking a lot, a lot.
So there's a couple of things. One, Amber, you kind of alluded to it. How much based on your body weight? So it's take your body weight, divide it by 2. That's how many ounces of fluid you need. So, Tanoh, how much do you weigh?
280.
280. So if Tanoh is in the AC all day, you would just need about half of your body weight in ounces, which is 140 ounces, which is just over a gallon. If you're just kind of hanging in the AC, not really doing a bunch strenuous, that's sort of your baseline needs is half your body weight in ounces. Not just water, any fluid counts towards our hydration. When any fluid without alcohol, we should say, counts towards our hydration. So coffee or tea, even those count towards it. The extra is when you're training hard, it's the recommendation is to step on the scale before and after and see how much sweat you lose. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, like we're it's mandatory actually.
Okay.
So if we miss that, we get fined.
You get fined if you don't do your weigh in.
Yeah.
All right. And y'all do that with Jamie?
No, with our strength staff.
Okay, Jamie's the dietitian, Jamie
Okay.
Meeks. Yeah, the Saints dietitian.
Yeah, so yeah, we get fined if we don't weigh in or don't weigh out, and yeah, we see how much we usually lose in a practice, and I'll say like my average is probably like 5 to 6 pounds.
Even though you're drinking all the way
Yeah,
through
and I'm
it.
drinking
Yeah.
all the way through it, like more than I probably should, or I don't. You probably can drink as much as you can, but
Right. You just
I
can't
know
keep up.
I'm probably above the average in drinking water.
And it's for you, it's going to be impossible to drink enough to level it out during. So you have to use the off time from practice to do it. It's something that I don't always like, people are funny about stepping on the scale. A friend of ours was dropping something in our house upstairs the other day, and he happened to see the bathroom scale because it was out of the bathroom. We were moving some stuff around, and he's like, my nemesis. Like he had a verbal reaction to it. And so I hesitate to tell people weigh yourself before and after exercise because it can kind of mess with them a little bit. But, so Tanoh dropping 5 pounds during a session, it's not 5 pounds of body fat. It's 5 pounds of sweat. And if it were body fat, it would look like oil or butter coming out of you. And it's not, And so, because people hear that, I wish I would lose 5 pounds in a single workout. It's not what we're talking about. It's, and when you're losing that level of fluid, then you're not at your best. You're going to be a little fuzzy, a little lightheaded. You're just not going to have that optimal. So, that percent of your body weight is still pretty low. I mean, 5 pounds based on your body weight. But it's something that, I'm glad it, and you also know to replenish. So typically we say weigh yourself before and after a workout. And then for every pound lost, that's an additional 16 ounces of fluid. So that means you're basically losing, what is that math? 100 ounces that you're in the deficit.
Yeah.
After you're already drinking all through the day, you're drinking during practice. So we typically say, take your body weight divided by 2. That's how much you need if you're in the AC all day. And then for every pound of sweat you lose during exercise, an additional 16 plus ounces. And then someone like Tanoh, like there's that, but you're also drinking so much more during it, Amber, it'd be interesting for us before on these like really hot, humid days to see what do we have? What is our loss that you're still not even keeping up with it.
Right. I swear some days I can feel like the 5 extra pounds of sweat in my clothes.
Oh,
Like, it just feels heavier. I don't know how that works because it came from me still, but I can just feel it hanging off of me. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Our clothes. That's why I was asking if you take the time to change clothes because they can just get like weighted on us.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I just play with it.
I was talking with y'all about our mailman, Damon. He's just like super cool. We only have 3 mics, so I wasn't able to invite Damon to be with us because it would be 4. But I saw him the other day and I said, hey, are you just getting started? He's like, how'd you know? Because it was like later in the day. And I'm like, well, you're dry. But he brings like 4 changes of clothes, just like in delivering mail. Okay. So the other question for y'all, what are you drinking whenever you're drinking, either before you're training, working out, or during?
So I drink a lot of water, coconut water for sure. That's something I like. I do try to stay away from Gatorade, because it's just the high sugar content, all of that. And it's something we've been drinking since I was like a freshman in college, we've been pushed that forever. But there's a lot healthier options and a lot, I guess, more direct ways to hydrate yourself than a whole bunch of sugar.
A whole bunch of sugar and, where it's Gatorade, Powerade, kind of what I call like the typical sports drinks. the concentration of electrolytes is actually much lower than the drinks that we're going to be talking about today. And most of them, some of them have kind of more natural brands that don't have the artificial colors and stuff like that. But typical Gatorade, Powerade, and other typicals on shelves, mostly you've got the artificial colors, you have high sugar content. Some are high fructose corn syrup, others are sugar, but it's still just essentially sugar, and it's relatively low electrolyte concentration. So yeah, not my favorite. The coconut water we don't have in this lineup, but we could, because it's a great source of potassium, but it's also got a really nice amount of sodium in it and low sugar. So coconut water is actually a really nice natural sports drink.
I drink water like before and after. I try not to really drink too much of anything else while I'm not in the activity. In activity, I'll go like towards Gatorade, and I usually try to pick 0 sugar Gatorade, but then you hear like when you're in college and some of your coaches are like, well, but sugar is what you need.
Exactly.
So it's hard to know what you need. Like,
yeah. And I think one of the things that I find is that if we're having a pre-workout fuel source, we're having whatever that food is, that snack we're having before. And if we have things we're eating throughout, I would rather everyday people and then also athletes get their carbs, their nutrients, their calories through food, which can be carbohydrates that are also still low sugar, mixed with a healthy mix of proteins and fats. And so I actually don't look at most sports drinks, even for an athlete like Tanoh, that I would say, I really need you to get a high carb sports drink because I need those sugars for you. If you have some of it, like the natural sugars, that's in something like the coconut water. But if you're eating before, if you have snacks that you're having during, you're kind of having fuel snacks throughout, we don't have to have sugar in that sports drink. Jamie, the sports dietitian for the Saints, may say, Molly, stop. It may contradict with the messaging Jamie's giving y'all, and I'm sorry if so. But for most athletes, we don't need to get our calories or our carbs through a sugary sports drink. We could get it through foods. And then for the everyday person who's simply, Damon delivering mail, we have the person who's, mowing their grass, the person who does that for a living, or they're out in their yard all day on a Saturday. They definitely don't need to get their sugars from the sports drinks. And I think it's safe to say that a majority of the population is concerned about weight and health, and they're not always moving. And so the sedentary lifestyle of a lot of people, they don't need those extra sugars. So with that, we can get started in our taste test.
all right.
Okay. Anything else that you think baseline to cover for people on hydration?
I guess one thing I might be able to suggest for normal people would be like fruit, eating fruit throughout the day, because it's like a hydrating with sugar and all of that stuff. That's something we get like before and after, and you can kind of get it during, like watermelon and pickle juice, I think is another thing we use.
Super high electrolyte too.
Yeah, super high electrolyte.
That's a really great point. When we say take your body weight, half your body weight in ounces, and it's any type of fluid hydrates you, that could be an herbal tea, it could be water, it could be coconut water like Tanoh said. Also foods though. It could be yogurt, soups, smoothies, but fruits, vegetables, like you said, and even like fish, it's like more than 60% water.
Wow.
It's crazy. So there's like even foods that we don't think about being hydrating still have a decent water content. And the fruits and vegetables are going to be more like in the high 80s and 90s% water by volume. So yeah, good point. So when you're talking, another one that we didn't talk about. So Amber, I was thinking about this when you're like, you're just making sure you're drinking all through the day. Of course, it's the pee test. The color,
right?
So if everyone's not already doing this, check your pee.
Yes.
The time that it can be a little bit off is if you do take a multivitamin that has like B vitamins. It can, y'all are both like,
Yeah,
right.
We'll take it. Yeah, we know.
Then you're like, it darkens your urine, which may look like you're not well hydrated, but it's just because you just took your vitamins. But other than that, you would want to have it ideally like the color of like a light lemonade. So if I always would tell people, like, if your pee is starting to look like a darker beer or like an ale, no, you want it to be like light lemonade. Okay, so we'll do our first taste test here. So what we have in front of us, y'all, is 6 different bottles. We have Evermore bottles. Evermore actually sponsors our WGNO morning show segment. And so they've dropped a case for Amber and a case for Tanoh as well. And so we use these. So it's Evermore water bottles, but each of these has a different sports drink. None of these are just pure water. So all 3 of us have 6 bottles in front of us. The first one's clear. The second 2 have a color. The last 3 are clear. I think what I'm going to ask you to do is take a quick sip, and then I'll tell y'all what's in it.
Okay.
I would ask you to.
One at a time or all the way?
Let's do one at a time.
Okay.
And we'll start with on your left.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah. And give each of them a little shake since I put them there a little bit ago. I also put them in the fridge a couple of hours before, but they aren't quite as cold as I was hoping they were. So, you know.
We're going?
We're going. We're going in.
I know this one.
Amber's tasted this one before. All right.
Not the biggest fan.
I'm thirsty.
Okay.
I can tell.
Do you like
Like
it? You kind of like it.
My body needs it. I can feel that.
So if any of y'all have seen or saw our WGNO segment, we did it like I said, a 2-minute segment on these. And we had a behind the scenes video that we did where Hank Allen, who I do the segments with, tasted these. So y'all just tasted what he refers to as ocean water. This is what I do as my own sports drink. You're not a fan, Tanoh, you said.
Yeah, I wasn't that big.
This is a homemade one, so it's okay. And I'm not surprised. I wanted y'all to taste it first, and then I'm going to ask us to come back to it at the end and just see what y'all think.
Yeah.
So were you saying you must be thirsty because it actually tasted kind of okay to you?
Like I needed more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Which I had been trying to like substitute sugar with more salt.
Yeah.
So I came across a couple of drinks like that I'm getting. At first, it was too much, but I'm getting used to them.
So what's in this one? And if y'all want to take a look, the bag in front of you, Tanoh, this is potassium chloride.
Oh, yeah.
And so this potassium chloride and then just a little salt there. So I do a pinch of potassium chloride and then a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And so this bottle has 600 milligrams of sodium and 300 milligrams of potassium.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah, I didn't think it tasted that salty.
I know, right?
Hank,
Yeah, it wasn't
come
that
on,
salty.
Hank.
It's more like a flat kind of taste. It's like, this water's off.
Right.
So Hank is like, this is like ocean water. And then he also said it's as if someone cried into the bottle for an hour.
I'll give you that. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So that's the first one. So this is, I just wanted to get y'all's take on it before we get into the flavored ones. The next one, well, if y'all can open this next one, give it a shake, give it a sip.
A little bit of color in this one.
A little bit of color in this one. And then I jotted on the bottom of them what each are. So if you do want to take them with you and drink them later, you can.
Oh.
I don't know.
I wish you could see the pucker that just came from Tanoh.
So that definitely doesn't like taste better than the first one. But for me, I think I almost want to taste like, oh, I'm drinking something that has a lot of stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can tell that, or I don't know if this has a lot, but it's almost like gingery and like other types of things that I'm like, oh yeah, that's good for me. That's good for me.
It
Like,
feels
Right.
therapeutic.
yeah, exactly. It tastes like it's really good for me.
Right.
That's it.
And it is.
Nice.
So this is the first 2 are the only 2 that are not packets or store-bought things that we're putting in there. So this one is the recipe that I kind of went back and forth. I brought some to Amber to taste some of the trial and errors on these. So it is ginger juice. You can do it with lemon or lime. I went with lemon in this. So it's in the bottle of Evermore, it's about an ounce of, and so it's about a 20-ounce bottle, y'all. So 20-ounce bottle, it's 1 ounce or 2 tablespoons of ginger. And what I did is for the ginger juice, you can purchase ginger juice, but I also took the ginger and I'll do about a cup of ginger and about a cup of water, and you can put it just in the blender, like just in like a NutriBullet type blender, and it makes your ginger juice. You strain it out through just like a really fine kind of strainer. You get kind of the chunks out, and then you've got that ginger juice. And I actually had made several batches of it as I was kind of testing out the recipes, and then I just stuck what I had left in the freezer, and then took it out this morning and let it thaw so that I could make it for y'all in that. But I want to make sure I'm saying the ratio right. It's about half of a cup of the peeled, and it says peeled ginger, but I actually didn't even really peel it. I just kind of chopped it up. Half a cup of that with water, blend it up, and then just strain out the chunks, and you have your ginger. Yeah. So it's 2 tablespoons of the ginger juice, about 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and then the same, a little bit of that salt and potassium chloride to bring it to the 600 milligrams of sodium, and then the 300 milligrams of potassium. On the potassium chloride, you can just buy that from online, like at Amazon, or in the store. They have these like no salt seasonings that are like a lot of times like older people who are watching their sodium intake are going to buy the no salt brand of salt, and those are actually potassium chloride. Okay. And so the electrolyte that we lose the most in sweat is salt, followed by potassium. And so that's why that 600 milligrams of salt in a 20-ounce bottle to me is like a really nice ratio with some potassium, but that potassium is less important than that salt. So, yeah, I'm excited y'all like that. So the ginger, some
refreshing
anti-inflammatory effects of that. Now, I personally don't love the sweetener in it, but I put a little bit of stevia in each of y'all's. You're welcome.
That's why it wasn't as strong as when you brought it to the course.
So I kept mine without because I'll just finish that later. But
probably would be very strong.
Yeah.
She's been working on her recipes.
I've been working on the recipe. And then as soon as Amber came in, she said, "What about the beet extract one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I couldn't get it to pass."
It was good, but I was wondering how you were going to continue to make that every practice.
You also really like beets.
I do like beets.
Which has to be the case. I think you probably would too, Tanoh. Yeah. But a lot of people, it's like it was a lot of effort for a very lackluster response to it.
It was pretty though.
It was very pretty. I tried one, Tanoh. It was beet extract. And then I thought, how can I hide the beet flavor for someone who doesn't love it? And so I tried pickle juice with that. So it was like sort of...
It was good. And cucumber, right? I tasted some cucumber in there. Or was that this ginger one?
I don't think I had cucumber in it.
You put cucumber with beet.
Okay.
I'm making it up.
No, I had herbal tea in that.
That's
that one.
what. Yes.
Because I was trying to do anything to like dilute that beet. And so the pickle juice, you doubly liked it because you also really like pickle juice.
I do like pickles.
But for a lot of people, they're really averse to both of those.
Right.
So, okay, so the next one, we'll give it a try. So tell us what you're seeing on this one, what it looks like.
Oh, it's bubbly.
Ooh.
Okay.
Some
tastes more sports drinky.
A little bit of carbonation, maybe.
Yeah.
You're like, now we're talking.
It tastes like a watered down Gatorade. That's what it tastes like.
So this is Noon. And so the Noon tablets, have either of y'all used Noon before?
I do. I like them. I like because they are carbonated. So I feel like I can sip on them instead of like, sometimes like with the sports drinks, they're so sweet. Like I just drank right through them.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. Just because it bubbled, I could almost like tell it was a tablet. Obviously I drink so many different types of sports drinks and Jamie hooks us up with so many. But like, I don't know why tablet drinks taste that way, but that's what it tastes like.
Do you gravitate to it, or is it a good or not good for you?
It is. It's good travel. So I'll always keep that in like my bag and stuff because I know it's hard to get that.
So the Noon, it's spelled Nuun, and the Noon Sport Hydration, they have 300 milligrams of sodium in the tablet, 150 potassium. So actually exactly half of what y'all had in your ocean water and the ginger one that I made. Those had 600 sodium and 300 potassium. So this is exactly half of that. Really low carb, low sugar, stevia sweetened, which might be a little bit of why you said it was like a watered down sports drink, because that intensity of the sodium is almost half strength in this. But the Noon tablets for y'all, again, Nuun, they're almost like little Alka-Seltzer tablets. And they're in like a little portable plastic container and they're like little oversized tablets, like bigger than a quarter kind of, that you would stick into your water bottle. So, like Tanoh said, they're really portable. In fact, I had all the rest of these in my pantry ready for us to do this episode. And I'm like, where are those Noon tablets? And then I dug them out of my husband's tennis bag. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
why
So
I like them. You can bring them with you.
Yeah.
and the carbonation, Tanoh, does that help or hurt it for you?
I don't think it does much for it.
It's not
Yeah,
an
it's
issue
not
either
It's
way.
neutral. Yeah.
And you like a little of the fizz?
So I actually don't like to drink like the carbonation during, like when I'm running
yeah,
around out on the
no.
tennis court, or if I'm like in the middle of, I cycle like sometimes 40, 50 miles on the weekends, and I don't want like the bubble feeling when I'm in the middle of a workout, but like during the day to give my water a little bit of flavor when I am trying to hydrate before activity, I do like them.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not super carbonated, y'all, just kind of like a little bit of a effervescence.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one we've got. The next one is just very clear of the clear ones that we have. I think this is the clearest.
Okay. Bubbled up too a little bit.
This is one I'm interested if either of y'all have tried before.
That one's good.
Huh. I don't think I've tried it before, but
You don't
I
even
like
know the
it.
name and you're going by flavor. Like you're that tuned into your taste. You're like, this isn't familiar to my taste buds.
it's good. It
You like
almost
it?
tastes like Propel to me,
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
right?
So this one is My High, MYHY, and My High is a local product. It's actually Matt Flynn, who was an LSU player, created this product, and they have the regular My High. I want to say it's maybe 11 grams of sugar in a packet of it, and then this one is their My High Zero, which has 0 sugar, and it's sweetened with stevia, and like I said, added bonus is it's locally owned.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Awesome.
And that one, I think it's like a mixed berry flavor. And that is, it's across the table by Amber. Yeah. It's, berry ice blast.
They come in little packets.
They come in little packets and it's actually liquid inside of there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you have to be a little
different.
careful. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that must be.
I've never seen one of these before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why he does it liquid, or is there a reason it's
I
liquid?
didn't ask him. I actually did a podcast with him a couple of years ago.
Oh, really?
And he kind of on the, how do you even start a company like this? You know, how do you start it from the ground up? And, you know, he had played for LSU and then he was in the NFL for a while. Of course, hydration was a focus and kind of the same lamenting that we're talking about, that there's not a lot of products. Now there's more products in the market than there was 5 years ago, for sure. But when he created this, he was sort of in that bind too, where like, okay, I want these things, but I don't want all the extras added into my drinks. All right.
That's a
So
good
that's
question though. Like why everything else is powder and this one is actually liquid in the package.
and it's the clearest in our bottles. And so it may have had something to do also with just the mixability of it, you know,
that probably makes it
because it doesn't settle out and it just stays super clear
Mixed,
in there.
It looks like water almost.
And then this one, so the My High, 500 milligrams of sodium. So really almost as high as that first ocean water that y'all tasted, and 80 potassium in that. All right, so we'll move on to the next one. I'm sure the next one I think y'all will probably be familiar with. As I taste each of these with y'all, this is why I do my own ocean water. I just don't love even the natural and stuff. They're sweet, stevia sweetened. It's just not, it's not what I want during a workout.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this next one?
Sorry. It's good. Definitely. I think that's the common thing, the stevia sweetener or something. I don't really like too much. But
It has more flavor than
it had,
the rest of them.
exactly. It probably had the most flavor.
So far of the packaged ones we've tried, I think I like this one the best.
Oh, okay. So what is it?
Oh, did you like it?
Yeah.
Because you kind of made a face, but I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
liked it. I liked it. I thought,
He doesn't like a lot of the flavor, like the sweet.
the sweet
Yeah.
stuff, but I like that. I like that.
Okay. That's the liquid
I
IV.
do. I do like the flavor.
This is the liquid IV, which also has the regular version. This is the zero sugar version of the liquid IV.
I've definitely had one of these before. Probably not this flavor. But
It's Costco carries liquid IV. And so the sugar-free one is 530 sodium. So again, I'm also kind of inching y'all up in the sodium content of each of these. After our originals that we started with, 530 sodium, 380 potassium, sweetened with stevia. It's also sweetened with something called allulose. Allulose is a natural plant-based sweetener. It's something that it can cause like GI upset. I use it all the time in things. And I'll use just small amounts. And I had tried it in some of the past recipes I gave you, Amber, of that for sports drink. In small amounts, it's fine. But if someone had like lots of it, it could actually kind of make you have an upset stomach a bit. So if someone had a packet of the liquid IV, it's going to be fine. But if someone was like you during practice, let's say you drank 6 bottles of this, it might not be a good thing. So I was a little surprised. It's the only one that I've seen on the market that has allulose as that ingredient. And it surprised me for that reason, because I thought, that could be a concern if someone's drinking a lot of this and not aware that it could send them to the body.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, so the last one, we're motoring through these pretty quickly. So for our listeners, I think that that's good too. It's not lingering too much. I feel like there's like I wish everybody could be here and see us and see y'all's faces and reactions to these. Okay, this is our last one.
This is good. This is my favorite. And that means probably you don't like it, right?
No, I honestly think I like that better than the previous one.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
But yeah, still again, I probably wouldn't just drink this during practice or.
This one that we just had is of the store-bought ones, hands down my favorite. And I had known that from before, but not being a big drinker of these, I'm kind of glad we did the order we did because it reminded me also. To me, it tastes the most natural. It doesn't taste like it's got a bunch of synthetic stuff in it.
Yeah.
None of the others have had anything fake in them. None of the others have fake sweeteners or any of that. But for some reason, this feels even like less. So this is Element.
Yeah.
And so it's, if you see the packaging, it's LMNT is what it looks like, but it's called Element. A lot of people still say LMNT, which is fine.
I did for a while.
Did I tell you it was Element?
I think I saw enough of it on Instagram after, I bought one package and then they're flooding my feed with it. But yeah.
So it's Element, and each packet, and I put the full packet in each of y'all's bottles, is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, which I love. 200 milligrams of potassium. And then the flavor that I went with is probably part of why I like it a lot. It's grapefruit salt. So it's not like a sweet,
super sweet
berry flavor or something like that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've had a couple. Jamie has a lot of this at the facility.
Element.
Yeah, and I like some of the other flavors.
The watermelon salt is good.
That's the one I like.
I bet that would be good.
Yeah.
So I think, is this y'all's favorite of the store-bought ones?
Yeah.
It's your favorite of all of them. I know my first two are not your favorite.
The beet one would be my favorite, but you don't have the beet one here.
I could definitely drink your water during practice.
The ocean
easily.
water?
Yeah. If it's cold, boom. I could drink that easily during practice. But like a lot of these just taste like too sweet.
So sweet, yeah.
Element, kind of, but it's more like after practice or before practice.
What do they use to sweeten this?
It is stevia sweetened.
Okay.
Yeah. So 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So also we should say that that person who is watching their salt intake, even if someone has high blood pressure, if they are losing large amounts of sweat during exercise, or Damon, our letter carrier, whoever this might be, if they have high blood pressure, they're still losing large amounts of sweat, you still need to replenish your electrolytes. It's not that you need to have no sodium. But someone may not need this 1,000 milligram if they have a concern, or they need to limit their sodium intake. And in that case, some of the sports drinks like Body Armor Light, there's Body Armor and there's Body Armor Light, super low calorie. I think it's like 20 calories a bottle, very low sugar, almost like no added sugar. But the sodium, I didn't look at it right before this, but I want to say the sodium is like 55. It's a very low amount. So something like Body Armor Light, it's like the other end of the spectrum of what we're talking about. That can be that sports drink. A lot of people find they tend to drink more of something if it has a little bit of a flavor. So something like that Body Armor Light can be a very low sodium approach. But I would say even if someone typically does a lower sodium approach, if you're losing those huge volumes of sweat, like Amber said, you can feel your clothes are just weighted down. It's almost like they're pounds of sweat themselves. You know, like Tano's saying he's losing that 5 pounds of sweat in there, then don't be afraid to put in some of these electrolytes. And when we talk about electrolytes, that's just basically a fancy way of saying sodium, potassium, but mostly sodium. And then I think the other little caveat we would say is if it is someone who's got to watch their sodium, talk to your health provider, you know, and ask, hey, would something like this element with 1,000 be okay for me? Or do I need to do some of these others that are a little bit more moderate? Because even like that Noon had 380, you know, so we kind of have the whole spectrum here.
Yeah.
All right. So if y'all don't mind, let's go back to maybe the ocean water and just see what you think.
Okay.
Definitely tastes different. That is surprising. I guess, I don't know, my tongue, it almost tastes less like water now.
It does. I thought just now as I sipped it, I thought I want to put some more.
It's smooth.
Yeah, it's way smoother and like, yeah, I could drink that.
Yeah. So, and then let's taste the ginger one again. I had them taste for the 2 homemade ones that I do first. And now after doing all the store-boughts, I'm just curious to go back to these.
So I was thrown off earlier because I thought that this was going to be the element, the grapefruit color.
Oh, yeah.
The element doesn't have color
No.
at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And so Amber's resipping the ginger one.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely changed my mind. This is, yeah, I like this a lot. The first one, sorry, I'm like, I like the first one you made a lot.
And so that's the ocean water. I can't
Ocean
wait to
water.
share this with Hank at
The
WG.
tears.
The
Yes,
tears.
The tears.
So what I love about this, and my exuberance, I don't mean to push it on people who are like, but I really want a flavored sports drink. It's so pure and it's so cheap to make,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because literally it's the salt and the potassium chloride, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a little pinch of that potassium chloride. That's it. So it's so inexpensive. It's so natural. You can just have it like all you need is water and then you're going to, you know, and these ingredients and you'll put it in there. And it's just to me so basic. I think the other kind of takeaway is if someone is like, well, I have, let's say the Noon and it's the 300 sodium, you can always add a little, that 1/4 teaspoon of salt to any of the sports drink you have if you need to up your game. You know, I had noticed that you were drinking the Gatorade.
The Zero,
Yeah. And I see her drinking the Gatorade Zero. And, you know, it's one of those things that like, I'm looking at Tanoh. I'm like, you don't want to like offer advice if someone's not
I
asking.
knew that was going to bother you when I pulled my Gatorade out. I knew it.
It was at least a Gatorade Zero and it was clear. So I knew it didn't have sugar and it didn't have artificial sweeteners. So I was like, well, those 2 things are better. But I wish she was getting more sodium in this.
And the thing is, I have Noon and Element both at home.
yeah.
But it was like, I wasn't going to be on the court as much today as I usually am. So I was like, I saved my elements, my saltier ones. Because actually, the element packets, I can go through like, you only need half of a packet for one of these bottles. Like the Noon, I feel like I need more.
Yeah.
But it makes sense now when you're telling us
How
the
much?
breakdown, right?
Yeah.
So even if you literally just had salt and you put a little bit extra salt in with those, then it sort of like stretches it and it's like a cost saver. You could like do half your element packet, maybe a little bit extra salt. Or if you
Yeah.
were doing like your Gatorade Zero, put a little dash of salt. Cause that's also something, I mean, it's strange, but you could like just keep it in your car. You could keep it in your bag and it's not going to go bad.
Yeah.
You know, because that's sort of the limiting factor on a lot of these. All right. Well, thanks y'all for indulging me in this. So I think our takeaways for our listeners of the store-bought's element and your favorite is some of the other flavors besides.
Yeah. The watermelon.
Mm-hmm.
There's some funky flavors too.
Did you try the chocolate yet?
I have it in my pantry.
I have it too.
Have
and I'm
you tried
scared.
it?
No, I'm
I have
scared
it
to
in
try.
my
Like,
pantry too.
yeah.
You have it in your pantry?
Yeah, I've not tried it. There's like that. There's like a chili lime one, and I was just, that's probably something I tried.
I would
Yeah.
do chili lime, but I don't know that I would want chili lime during
Yeah.
a workout.
Yeah,
It feels like it would
interesting
sit a
choice.
little high. Yeah.
We should all try the chocolate over the weekend.
Yeah,
I'm going to
I'll do
pause
it.
this
Together.
right now. I'm going to pause it and I'll make it up. I'll mix one up because I have it and I can put it in little
Okay.
We'll try it
Okay,
real quick.
okay.
Let's do it.
All right, y'all. We took a quick break. I put this in here and it started I put the element, the chocolate,
Makes me want
It's-
to try it even less.
chocolate salt element. I put it in this Evermore bottle so that Amber and Tanoh could see it. And it clustered at the top and it is brown. We were commenting that all the other drinks, for the most part, are clear. All the elements are clear.
Yeah,
And so-
that'd be a little weird if it was clear too, you know?
Well, that's true. Clear. And yeah, it's
Chocolate?
supposed to be chocolate.
I don't know if my mind could handle
Like
Yeah.
clear chocolate.
chocolate. What's going on?
But I also think drinking a brown beverage
Yeah, it's that bad.
while you're working out, like in the middle of it, I would expect a brown beverage to be milky,
Mhm.
but it's also called chocolate salt. How do we feel about it? Just the appearance.
It looks like tea.
I was going to say this.
A little bit
That's
like
nice. It looks like
that's a nice way to say it.
water from a toilet.
It looks
that I
like-
wouldn't-
Oh,
Todd
yeah.
is saying water from the toilet. I'm thinking it looks like Lucky or Duck's, like little,
pond.
yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Her
yeah,
pond
there
or
you
her
go.
pie plate after she's drank a lot out of it. Yeah.
That's nice.
That's hilarious. Okay, so we've got it mixed up. We think it looks a little sludgy. Elements, sorry, we love, love, love your product,
Yeah.
but we're a little curious about our chocolate.
Hey,
salt.
we might love it.
But-
Exactly.
and,
We're talking all this.
and
Oh my
clearly,
God.
the three of us have all had this sitting in our pantry, and nobody's been wanting to try it on
Yeah.
their own. So we've got some moral support here.
Mhm.
All right, I might have poured us all a big sip. Okay,
Cheers.
cheers.
Cheers. Ooh.
Wow.
Well, it's not as bad.
Yep. It is not as bad as I thought.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think it almost tastes like chocolate pudding more than like chocolate milk. Let's
Yeah.
say. I don't know.
Chocolate pudding is a little saltier.
Yeah.
Yeah, or you
there
kind of get
go.
more of a salt from chocolate pudding. It's did y'all ever drink, is it called a Yoo-hoo?
Yeah. Oh my God. when I was
Those yellow
little,
boxes.
That made sure it told you it was not milk. This is not milk. Yeah.
To me, it's like a Yoo-hoo. Have you ever had a Yoo-hoo, Amber?
No.
Yeah,
I wasn't I'm not a big like chocolate ice cream, chocolate milk person. Like I drink them now on recoveries, like it's the quickest way I can sometimes, but
All right, so it's sort
I
of
don't think
a
it's bad.
No.
It wasn't a horrible idea.
No.
But you have to definitely educate
I don't know that
people.
like would you want to be drinking that in the middle of a workout though?
No.
No, on the field, like in the hot sun. No.
So the chocolate salt, I'm glad we did try it. I think yes, pudding. It's not quite like a chocolate milk because it's not really, which they don't say it. They say chocolate salt.
Yeah.
So yeah, a Yoo-hoo for those of y'all who know what a Yoo-hoo was, and chocolate pudding. All right. So just curious, the other the packet that I had in my pantry that I just hadn't tried yet is the Element. They call it just raw unflavored. And so this is 1,000 milligrams of sodium, some potassium, and that's it.
So should it taste like your ocean water then?
You would think
You
so.
would think. Wow.
That's interesting.
I have
Very interesting.
no chance of seeing this ingredient list.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus. Yeah. Can't see anything.
Let me see.
it's white letters on a light gray background. I do have reading glasses here that I can pull out if needed.
Salt, magnesium, and potassium.
So no sweetener or
That
anything
is
in
it.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've had one thing like this before, and it was just non-flavored Pedialyte.
Oh.
Like, because we drink that a lot.
Right.
Now they kind of have Pedialyte meant for sports because
Yeah.
I think they figured a lot of
Yeah.
athletes were using it, and yeah, they have an unflavored one, and it tastes a lot like this.
So, Amber mentioned that athletes or instructors can get a discount on Element, but if you're going just straight to something like Amazon, it's about $40 for 30 packets. And so I think totally if you've got a flavor you like I really like this grapefruit salt. Y'all mentioned like the watermelon salt. If someone's interested in this chocolate salt, those are things you're kind of paying for. It's all in there for you. They've mixed it up. They've got the flavor down. But if you were going to do that raw unflavored, $40 for 30 packets, I would want you just to put your own potassium and salt
Right.
in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, sweet. Well, thanks so much, y'all. Anything else that you would want to say, like kind of a last thing for listeners?
I guess I don't know if we really harped on it, but for me, I know as an athlete, I was always thinking, hydration means water.
Yeah.
But in reality it's water plus sodium, potassium,
Right.
magnesium, all the salts.
Yeah.
And like I didn't have like a bad experience, but like I thought I was hydrating a lot one day and ended up just like doing like a walkthrough with a whole bunch of younger guys. I was at Villanova training and did my whole workout, maybe 2 hours long. And then I was out in the sun for like 2 more hours. Not really doing hard work, but just kind of showing guys how to do stuff and all this stuff. And then I almost had like I did have a full body cramp. And I was really confused as to why, because I'm like, I've been drinking all day. Like I drank a lot of water. And they're like, yeah, you didn't actually hydrate yourself. You were just like peeing that out. And it was just water. It wasn't actually holding. You need all the salt and all that stuff to hold it.
This is one of those things that I'm wishing we would have said earlier, because you're exactly right. The importance of electrolytes. Maybe I'll say it in our little teaser that we say at the beginning of it, because it's exactly that. If you're losing all the water and the electrolytes, but you're only putting water back in, it can actually be dangerous because you're creating such an electrolyte imbalance. Every year there's someone who does maybe their first marathon ever. They've never done a race like that. And you read the reports that someone has a heart attack with it, because your heart is also a muscle. And so when you're creating such an imbalance of electrolytes, your body goes in that full body spasm, that full body muscle cramp like you experienced. With your heart also being a muscle, it can be extremely dangerous. So losing all those electrolytes and only replenishing with water is a very dangerous thing for that person who's losing large volumes of it. Yeah. It's, and when you have that full body, it's like your body just goes on lockdown with that. Have you ever had that, Amber?
No, I'm lucky to have never experienced that. I mean, I've seen some of my players in really terrible times for it, and it's just, you feel awful because they're helpless and you can't do anything to help them in that moment. I've seen it, but luckily it's never happened to me.
Me too. Knock on wood on that.
You're preparers. You prepared. I just didn't prepare.
Or you didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You're like, I'm hydrating and with water. Yeah, no, that's a really, really, I think what you just said is sort of the overarching of why we're looking at these specific products with these high concentrations of electrolytes for people like y'all, and then everyday people who are also losing large amounts of sweat. Anything else, Amber? Sort of a takeaway?
Well, I have a question about, so like caffeine. So you said earlier, hydration counts as anything that doesn't have alcohol, but is it just like a myth? Like we're told like caffeine can dehydrate you. What are your thoughts about that?
So for years we thought that. Dietitians, we gave that messaging. And, I wrote for the newspaper and actually picking back up to write with them weekly, I think the week after this drops. So I'm excited about that. But I was mortified because I had written, this is probably back in 2008 or 9. I was really new for writing for them and really thin skinned of like criticism. And I had, maybe it was 2010, but I had put in there about, what hydrates you, and everything besides alcohol or caffeine count. And a reader wrote me, thank goodness didn't post it publicly, but sent me a pretty scathing letter of, you need to like check your information before you as the expert is sharing this. But through school, through everything, it was always just, that was sort of the messaging. Well, in the past just couple of years at that time, there had been more and more research showing that on the cellular level, even caffeinated beverages like coffee were hydrating us. And at the time, there had probably been about 5 years of research, but it hadn't really made it to like the mainstream conversation. And I hadn't dug to see that. I was mortified. I was like, it was like one of those things that like stuck with you. And so you just realize, like, just like anything, like you can't assume. And I think a lot of times there's like old tape that stays with us, old messaging that stays with us, sort of like salt's bad. Everybody needs a low salt diet, you know? And so that was one of those. And still, even with health providers, there's still the messaging to get across that caffeinated beverages can hydrate us. So the deal with that is that caffeine in and of itself is a diuretic. So if you were to take caffeine pills or do like a caffeine shot, almost like the 5 Hour Energy or something that doesn't have a lot of liquid, it's just caffeine, that is going to have a diuretic effect, meaning it's going to make you pee out more than the liquid you're consuming. But something like normal coffee or caffeinated tea, the liquid in that is going to offset the diuretic effects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And from a performance perspective, caffeine can be a really good performance enhancer. And so if someone says, I like a iced coffee and that's part of what I'm doing as a pre-workout because I like the energy boost it gives me, it's not a bad thing.
Okay.
I like it.
Good questions. Good feedback, y'all. All right. So your very first, well, it is Tanoh's second podcast, Amber's first. Y'all's first blind taste test on something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
Y'all were such good sports. If there's another one, I think I want to pull y'all back together at some point. We'll do another one. So this is so much fun, y'all. Thank you. I'll also put on the episode notes the link to each of y'all's like social media handles and stuff like that. So if people want to follow y'all or see more about you, they can.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. It was fun.
So much fun having Amber and Tanoh here. As we are recording it, it's actually a few days before the podcast is dropping. So as you're hearing this podcast, Tanoh will already be out in Los Angeles training with the Saints. So he was generous enough to fit it in, squeeze it in with his time before they left town for training camp. So really grateful for that. So much fun having him and Amber. I love their take. I love their energy. I love their interest in wellness and nutrition and hearing that interest, hearing sort of what they do, what works for them. Not only though, as athletes, they're so down to earth and they're so speaking in a language that everyone can relate to and sharing the experiences they go through that everyone can relate to, in spite of the fact that they're also incredibly talented athletes. So really, really grateful for them spending the time here. I enjoy my time with them so much. And I hope that you really enjoyed hearing us explore and learn more on this topic. So I'll include the links to the products that we all tasted today. I'll also include the links to their social channels. If you do want to follow them, stay in touch with what they're doing, learn more about them, get to know them a little bit better. Really good people and really talented people. And of course, always let me know what you think. If you've got some other sports drink products that you're like, hey, you missed out on this one. I didn't hear you talk about this one. Other products that you love that I haven't covered, let me know about it. If you have an opinion on any of these or you've had any that have been particularly helpful to you, always, of course, I want to hear about it. I'm registered dietitian Molly Kimball, and you've been listening to Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, the podcast. If you'd like more Fueled Wellness and Nutrition, please head over to mollykimball.com, and you can follow me, Molly Kimball RD, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you haven't yet, please go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. Join us next time for another dose of Fueled Wellness and Nutrition. Thanks for listening, and stay focused on living your strongest, healthiest life.